I'd like to welcome you to the Wednesday version of the Thought for the Day. And just another gentle reminder that this weekend is our annual mum sale, and it'll be out in the back, in the garage and on the back parking lot from about 9 to 1 on Saturday, and it'll be all Sunday morning and go till about 1 o'clock. And fun to have plants and color at the church. I'm going to, one more quote from that book, the Fox and the Mole and the Horse and the Boy. And this one kind of grabbed me. "So you know all about me?" asked the boy. "Yes," said the horse. "And you still love me?" "I love you all the more." Thinking about that, I sometimes wonder that if people knew everything about me, all my shortcomings and missteps, would they still love me as much? And I think, when you love somebody, you love that person for who you are. And when you have a close friend or somebody where there's a bond of love between you, you don't have to worry about what you tell them about yourself, because each one of us is a package of good stuff and some bad stuff and everything in between. And love is that unconditional acceptance of ourselves and others for who they are. And I hope that's the message that's at the foundation of our humble temple here. I was driving into church this morning, and when I drive into the church, a lot of times I get to see the sun rising in the east. And as I saw the sun this morning, and I know I talk about the sunrise a lot, but maybe that's because I don't have a lot else to say. But to me, the sunrise speaks of the magic, the mystery, and the unity of God's creation. Because that sunrise, it belongs to all of us, and yet it belongs to none of us. It's not the possession of anybody. It's God's gift to us that there's a new day. And the sun rises over Orland Park and this church. It rises over Afghanistan. It rose over the courageous first responders 20 years ago for 9/11. The sun rises, and to me it's a symbol of the humanity coming together. And when I think about that, it kind of makes me sad to think about all the divisions that are between us. That if we could all look at the sunrise and understand that sunrise is a gift from a power that's bigger than all of us, that maybe we would be a little more understanding and a little more forgiving, a little more accepting of the diversity of the human spirit and the diversity of humanity, and we could come together, because that sunrise is a symbol of hope. I think about some of the stuff we do at church, and on Sunday we shared communion, and I had a baptism. And to me, I don't understand why everybody isn't welcome at the communion rail in any church. Because when Jesus sat at that table and shared the Last Supper with his disciples, he didn't have an age limit. He didn't try to explain what the bread and wine was. He just shared the gift. And when he broke that bread, he said, "This is my body, which is given for you." And when he shared the cup, he said, "This is my blood, which is shed for you." And I was thinking Sunday as we came together around the altar, and there were a lot of kids here. Sometimes I have to pass up some of the kids because they're, quote, not old enough. And I sometimes wish there was no age limit. Maybe there won't be someday, because to me, you don't necessarily have to understand communion. You just need to receive the gifts. And when a family comes up here and I give bread and wine to the mom, to the parents and to the older brothers and sisters, and then there might be a first grader and he's there, and I pass that little person up with just a pat on the head, I say, wait a second. Communion is meant for that little guy too. And to me, that's what communion is all about. And then after church, I had a baptism. And to me, the baptism is not just about the child being baptized. Baptism is about all of us gathered together. Because as we baptize a little child, It's obviously a living symbol of God's acceptance of that person into the kingdom, but it's also a reminder that God accepts each one of us into his kingdom every day like a little child. And it's that kind of spirit. And to me, if there's one thing I've learned, and I haven't learned a whole lot, but during the past almost 2 years of this pandemic, I realized the spirit and the goodness that brings us together. And as we come out of this, and I hope we do, I hope we can come out of this more united and more together and stronger as we understand what's important in life and what's not. Yes, the boy asked, "So you know all about me?" And the horse said, "Yes, and you still love me? Oh, I love you all the more." To me, that gift of love that God gives to each one of us is one of the most powerful gifts in the world. And as we celebrate communion around the altar rail, as we baptize little children, as we come together on a Thursday night or a Sunday morning, or even just a thought for the day on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we celebrate the incredible, quiet power of the love that God gives to us and the love that we share with each other. And we need to discover that and rediscover that every day. That's why I'm glad we're together. I want to thank you once again for listening, and I look forward to sharing some thoughts with you again on Friday. God bless.